Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. And if you are looking for one of the best banks in the country, one of the top 10 banks in the country, well, here we are. We're sitting right inside of one. Renaissance Bank is the place to come. That's where they finished, Renaissance did, in a survey done in Forbes magazine last year, where they finished in the top 10 banks nationwide of surveyed customers. So if you're looking for that kind of banking experience for your business, go to renaissancebank.com and find their local office and give them a call, and I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. Now I want to welcome an old friend. Stuart Oberman is with us, and Stuart is with Oberman Law Firm. Stuart, welcome.
Welcome, sir. It's been a while.
It's been a minute or two, but
good to be back home.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Let's give everyone that doesn't know you and your firm an introduction to what's going on at Oberman Law Firm.
Yeah, John, appreciate that. It's been a while, and it's good to be back home. So, yeah, Stuart Oberman Law Firm. We are a healthcare-centric, business-centric law firm. And, it's interesting. Last time we were here, we were doing the Dental Law Radio podcast. Mm-hmm. And since that time, really, that was sort of my brief hiatus. I know we've kept in contact, and you try to get me back in the studio, and it's been a long ride. It's been interesting. So we expanded to we got attorney in Ohio, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, and so we have grown into a local, regional, national, depending on the word, global law firm, and so we've covered a wide range and. So it's been a good ride so far. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, and when last time you were in on this show, which was when you started Dental Law Radio, and that's been over a year ago now, a year and a half ago. You were a national firm dealing with practices in a lot of different states. But you didn't necessarily have attorneys in all these states. And so now you're really expanding out your footprint in terms of where your attorneys are located.
Yeah, we've been real lucky. We've had some really, really good attorneys come aboard with us, and which really resulted in our expansion. Mm-hmm. When we did the podcast for the dentallawradio.com episodes, we were actually getting audience members from all cross sections of business, mm-hmm. Some global, some cross border, some international, and so we got to think like, we got a message. We're trying to get out that message, and that's where we decided to take it more on a national basis and cater to that broader audience. Same content that we could really use in any business that you're in, but we're fortunate. We've got clients that are from France.
Wow.
We got clients that, are $1 billion clients, $500 million clients, and we're hearing from them, and they want to hear the content. So mm-hmm. we decided to take a little ad ride to the right, if you will, and our newsletter was really geared to a cross section of tax, business, estate planning, a lot of different things. So we decided to launch a cross section of business content under advisory Insights Podcastandlt. So we're going to take what we did on the dental side and really branch that right into the global side of what business can take, no matter really what discipline they're in.
Right,
whether it's small, medium, large.
Yeah, and
that's a lot to say. What's been going on?
Yes, yeah. I was going to say, Stuart, we don't have that long of a show for you to talk about all the things y'all been doing.
You're looking at me. Will you take a breath?
I know it. All the things you've been doing. We don't have that long of a show, but I want to come back to the advisory insights, and we'll draw that out for our listeners. But I'm just curious, and I'm sure our listeners are. how you're pulling in these attorneys with this great expertise and experience that they have in these different practice areas, different disciplines from all over the country. What brings them to Oberman Law?
It's hopefully what we're doing is resonating with our expansion. We've reached out to attorneys that we feel can help us out. We've got some great lawyers. I mean, just great lawyers. They're really the best at what they do. And, I take a look at, what different areas of law they're practicing and what's the industry and what industry they in. And, we start conversations and say, hey, what's going on with us and what's going on with you and what are you doing and what. So hopefully we've given them a really, really good platform to run with. Really it's just reaching out to people that have got a quality interest in what we're doing. And what our niche is. And, we've, some firms have reached out to us and we've done a dance and that's about all we got to one dance. And, they just weren't a good fit, but no, we've really done a lot with picking up some quality lawyers and, they make us look really good on a daily basis. So
congratulations on that. And to them, for y'all getting together and making it happen. That's really terrific.
It's been great, man. It's been good.
That's great. So the decision was made because of this expansion, as you mentioned, a lot of practice areas in other areas of healthcare, like veterinary, for example, have a lot of things in common with the same problems that dental practices have. So let's take this podcast, rebrand it, relaunch it into something a little broader that fits all these different practice areas, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you own a hospital, whether you own a dental practice, whether you own a physician practice, or whether you're a global company. You've got HR problems. You've got employment problems. You've got merger acquisition problems. You've got compliance problems. You've got governmental compliance problems. Whether or not you're coming over cross-border, you got joint venture problems. You got entity problems. It doesn't matter what size you're in or what industry you're in. It's really the same information. And I'm glad you brought that up because we're getting so many people, so many emails like, hey, what about this? What about that? And they weren't even from our designated industry. We started dental law radio. So that's why we decided to take it to a different level. And our newsletter has become really cross-sectional. So our newsletter is Advisory Insights. So we decided, we decided to take that on a broader scale, and we decided, let's stick with that name and put a podcast on it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to branch out on the podcast that be across many disciplines, many platforms for small, medium, large entities, and we hope that'll resonate. And we think we got some good information coming forward.
And just to be clear for all our dental practices and practitioners that are listening out there, you're still doing the same work you were doing before with dental practices where that they've got some particular problems and particular issues like, the expansion of DSOs and possibly selling and getting ready to sell to DSOs, the things that are particular to the dental industry, you're obviously still playing there.
Oh yeah, we're playing in that sandbox, for sure. And really, we love our guys. I was just down at the Georgia Dental Association conference, and we love the industry. That's what really was enabled us to really expand out, taking the issues that they have, whether it's 10 employees or 50 or 75 or 100. No, we're not going to lose that market. We're not going to take that market for granted. And we're still going to plug pretty hard in that market. We're just going to take what they want to hear and take it and just transform it into different industries that we feel will be really cross-sectional and be used to all industries. So no, we're not getting out of that sandbox.
Yeah, for sure. And you've got really a lot of expertise now that comes to the table, and just having more of that around the table, the virtual table, I guess, as it were, so it's at all these different states, is really good for everyone, good for all your clients and good for all your attorneys.
Well, by expanding out, we've got such a great collaboration. We got tax, we got, that we could venture into estate planning and into mergers and acquisitions. And so it's given us a great great base to run from. And it also allows us to stay in our wheelhouse and then, bring in some other wheelhouses that we've been asked to bring into. So we're looking forward to the podcast, that's for sure. And also coming back home to Business RadioX, that's for sure.
Well, we're delighted to have you back, rebranded, relaunched. This is going to be a lot of fun. Advisory Insights Podcast is the name of the show, folks. AdvisoryInsightsPodcast.com. We're making it easy on you. You can go check it out and go search and find it on your favorite podcast app. Subscribe. We would love to have you as subscribers. And if you've got questions, topics that you would like Stuart and the rest of his colleagues to address on this show, we'd love to hear from you. So let's get to that. Stuart, where can folks be in touch?
You can certainly call our office, 770-886-2400. Email Stuart, Stuart, at obermanlaw.com. And we try to be responsive as we can, and follow us on social media. And on the Business Radio, you guys are on every platform known to man. So they will not have a hard time finding us on your platform. That's for sure.
Well, thank you, North Fulton BRX folks on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. So
where's your longest listener from? Are you global?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Because, anywhere there's an internet connection, potentially we can be heard. That doesn't, who knows where they all are, but they're out there for sure. And we've actually, in fact, I won't mention him by name, but one of your colleagues, well, I will mention him because y'all know each other and friends, Patrick O'Rourke.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Dental Business Radio. He actually had a listener in Korea that found him through. So, hey, you never know where it's going to come.
Have knowledge will travel.
Yep. You never know where it's going to come from. Stuart Oberman, Oberman Law. This is going to be fun. We're excited to get started on this. And, thanks again for being with us.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be home.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, folks, just a quick thought here. If you are in the Atlanta area and you are looking for a great team building exercise for your team, go to ansculinaryconcepts.com. Yes, a culinary studio that does corporate catering, but they also do corporate team building. Call Executive Chef Andrew Traub, 678-336-9196. Tell him John Ray sent you, and he will set you up with something that's a lot of fun, and you don't have to worry about breaking ankles or skinning up knees or breaking elbows or all that kind of stuff on some of these other team building activities. It's a lot of fun. I've done it. It's cool. And folks, just a quick reminder as we close, North Fulton Business Radio is on all the major podcast apps. North Fulton Business Radio is a search term. We'd love it if you would subscribe to the show and share the show. If you are a health care practitioner and know of your colleagues that need to hear this podcast with Stuart and his colleagues on Advisory Insights, please share the show so they'll know about it. And we're all about celebrating business here at Business RadioX. So if you can help us do that, we would appreciate it. So for my guest, Stuart Oberman, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.